A very warm good afternoon to all of you. I am Sakshi, and on behalf of First View and Net Zero Alliance, I welcome you to our very much awaited webinar today on Net Zero Energy Roadmap-Textile. I take the pleasure of thanking our panel members for extending their immense support to organize this event, and a very special thanks to our presenting partners, Tata Power and Sunshore, for being our crusaders here. I would now request my team to play the commercial video for Tata Power. Thank you, team, for playing that. We will now have Mr. Arun Kumar Murugan from Tata, who will be giving the presentation for his company. Over to you, Mr. Arun.
Yeah, thank you, Sakshi.
Thanks.
Yeah, so is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank First View for giving this platform wherein a lot of we EPC players and power distribution companies can present some of our solutions. So I have made a small presentation wherein we'll be discussing Tata Power solutions, especially for the textile industry. And some of these solutions and all these solutions will help in achieving net zero for this particular industry. So my first slide talks about the Tata Group. So the gentleman who is on your left side, he is Jamshedji Tata. He's the founder of the company, and most of you may be aware that the Tata Group is into has bifurcated into various divisions such as materials, engineering, IT, steel, power, services, and consumer products. The Tata Group's revenue is about 138 billion dollars, and the market capitalization of the group is around 350 billion dollars, and we employ about 10 lakh employees throughout the group. So it's a huge group. The Tata Group is a huge group, and in this group, one of the infrastructure companies is the Tata Power Company Limited, and this particular company was formed in 1919. So it's over 100 years. The company is over 100 years old, and the company is into generation, transmission, distribution. It is also into renewables. It is also into EVs. It is also into home automation projects. And recently, the company has also moved into solar pumps. This slide talks more about Tata Power. So in Mumbai we have our own our own thermal plant at Trombay, which is next to Chembur. We also have our hydropower plant in Lonavala, which is again just 2 hours away from Mumbai, and we also have our hydropower plants in Munshi, and we also provide power within the Mumbai distribution region. The same thing, we are also the distribution licensee for Ajmer. We are also the distribution licensee for electricity distribution in Delhi, and recently we have taken the distribution license for the entire state of Odisha. In addition to this, we also have our own module manufacturing plant at Tata Power Solar Bangalore, and we are increasing the capacity of module manufacturing to 4 gigawatt. We have a new plant which is coming up in Tamil Nadu for this. So, long story short, in thermal, we have about 10,000 megawatt of power, which also includes generation through hydro and waste heat generation. Renewables, we have about 2,688 megawatt in solar and more than 900 megawatt in wind. And as far as transmission lines are concerned, we have about 3,500 kilometers of transmission line, and our customer base is more than 12 million. We are also into rooftop solar, we are into EV charging, we are into group captive open access, and we are also into solar pumps and microgrids. As far as our credentials are concerned, we are being ranked as the number one solar EPC player for the last 7 years by the Bridge to India report. We have provided over 1,000 plus megawatt of rooftop installations throughout the country, and we have a very robust service and support system to deal with all our customers as far as rooftop solar and large projects is concerned. We also focus on automation and digitization, and we have a network that is distributed pan India through over 180 channel partners. So quickly, I'll just move into our renewable offerings. We have two kinds of solutions. One is the on-site solutions that we offer, and the second is the off-site solutions that we offer. In the on-site solutions that we offer, it can be subdivided into rooftop solutions, wherein basically there will be solar panels that will be installed either at the building or at the commercial premises on and within the premises. The second would be second offering under on-site is carports. So if there is any car parking area that is there within the premises, above that we install solar panels for the customer. And the third offering in on-site is floating solar, wherein we even leverage our engineering and construction background to put panels on water, and this is primarily inside the area of the customer. This is as far as on-site solutions are concerned. As far as off-site solutions are concerned, we offer captive open access solutions, wherein we completely do the EPC for the customer on his land, and the land could be away from the land will be away from his consumption point. We also offer group captive open access, wherein we ourselves make a solar park and we form a special purpose vehicle with 76%, 74-26% equity ratio. The ratio of the company will be divided into 76 and 20, sorry, 74 and 26%, where 26% will be owned by the captive consumer. And we also provide third party open access, wherein suppose if a customer doesn't want to invest any money, we provide him power through our trading company. So we have a trading company called as Tata Power Trading Company Limited. So these are our offerings at a very broad level. Now, in interest uh, of the people who are probably listening to this presentation, I'll just quickly go through the solar working principle for on-site. So in on-site, what happens is that the solar modules will be installed either on the roof or on the ground of, but it will be within the property, and there will be a module mounting structure. The solar panels will generate DC power, and that DC power gets converted into AC with the help of a solar inverter. And then you have the automation wherein this particular power can be monitored, and it can be sent back to the grid. And then at the LT side you may have there could be net metering or gross metering, or the connection could be behind the meter. And all this all the manner of metering that we will use will depend on the state in which the particular rooftop solution is present. So each state is governed by a separate rooftop solar policy. And some of the offerings under on-site solar are we offer a capex model. We offer a capex model with financing, and we can also connect you to the financer. We also offer a OPEX model for some of our partners. So in the OPEX model, we ourselves will install the panel on your behalf, and we will sign a power purchase agreement with you, wherein each unit will cost a certain amount. It could be 6 rupees or 7 rupees. So that will be basis the power purchase agreement. And this is all for on-site solar solutions that I am discussing. Now moving on to off-site solar offerings. So off-site solar offerings are suppose the land is elsewhere, and the customer doesn't have enough of land area within his premises, or his load is so high and his electricity consumption is very high. So in such cases we offer off-site solar offerings. So in a typical off-site solar offering, what happens is that the land parcel will be elsewhere, and either we Tata Power will invest in the solar park, or it could be a group captive open access wherein an SPV would be formed, and 8% would be paid by the captive consumer, or it could be 100% captive open access, wherein the entire project is invested by the client. And from such a land parcel, we use the transmission network, and we wheel this power to the end customer. So, uh, in such a case, we charge the tariff at the generation interface, and the customer will pay Tata Power the tariff at the generation interface. And whatever other charges like the transmission utility charges, the discom charges, and any government taxes that would be there, that would be borne by the customer to the discom. So in offsite, there are three verticals. One is a captive open access, where 100% is invested by the client. There is a group captive open access in which the developer, so in this case Tata Power, and the client will form an SPV, and the client will invest about 8.9% of the project cost. And then the third is the third party open access, wherein using our trading wing, like which I mentioned earlier, the Tata Power Trading Company Limited, we will offer you power at zero investment cost. So these are the solutions under our offsite solar offerings. And in an offsite solar offering, we sign a term sheet, we sign various agreements, and some of the agreements could, if it's a group captive open access, some of the agreements is the power purchase agreement, it's the shareholder agreement, and it's the share purchase agreement. And once these agreements are signed, it takes us about 9 to 12 months to send the power to the end customer. Okay, now, so my second last slide talks about the major benefits of on-site and off-site solutions, especially from a textile point of view, a textile industry point of view. So, if you see in textile industries, most of the textile industries are highly energy intensive, and they may have multiple decentralized operations within different states. So, in such a scenario, both on-site and off-site solutions can help them a lot. So, the first way that they can help them is by it will reduce their P&L, because the operational expenses, your electricity expenses, are going to reduce dramatically. It can reduce up to 40%. And then the government, since the government is pushing solar solutions, there is an accelerated depreciation benefit that can be claimed by the in the books of these companies. And these all our solutions also will make the textile industries ESG compliant, and it will also provide a pathway for clarity on the RE100 roadmap. And most importantly, it also helps offset climate changes, and it also helps improve climate changes rather. And as a society, we need to focus on this. So, my last slide, and I would like to conclude by just showing some of our on-site solutions. These are some of our landmark projects on-site, which means within the premises of the customer. So, the first one is a floating solar system, which is a 1.4 megawatt peak plant, which is at Tata Chemicals Nellore. Uh, then we have installed 2.67 megawatt carport at Cochin International Airport. At railway stations like Secunderabad, we have our own installation of 500 kilowatt. And even in IIT Roorkee, we have a 1.8 megawatt installation. Mangalam Organic Limited, Asian Paints, Piaggio, Merck Life, Tata Motors. So these are some of our on-site solutions projects. As far as off-site solutions are concerned, we have a 120 megawatt solar park at Akkalkot, which is in Solapur. And so this is spread about over 500 acres of land. And if you go through the solar farm, you have only panels. You can only see panels, blue color panels completely. So these are some photos of the panels. And these are some photos of the infrastructure that is there. So our USP is superior engineering and superior O&M, and the quality of our panels are also good, and our engineering design is one of the best. So, yeah. And from this solar park, we provide various offsite solutions to clients such as NetMagic, Anand Group, Garware, IHCL, Tata Communications, Endurance. These are some of our clients. So Garware is one of our clients who is in the textile industry, and we have started providing power to them recently. Yeah. So that's it from my side. I hope this presentation was insightful to the people who are listening. And any questions at a later stage, they are most welcome. You can also reach out to me on my mobile number, which is mentioned in the slide. Yeah. So that's it from my side. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Over to you, Sakshi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arun, for that insightful presentation. Now I would request my team to play the commercial video for Sunshore Energy.
Why should you go solar? Did you know that India is now producing the world's cheapest solar power, the cleanest source of energy in the world? So, what makes solar so attractive? Of course, you make massive savings on electricity bills, but there are also great tax benefits on solar investments. Let's simplify this for you. The price of solar energy remains fixed while the grid costs go on increasing. So your savings go on increasing year on year. Over its lifetime, a well-engineered plant saves over 7 times its investment. It's environmentally friendly. A 500 kilowatt solar plant helps offset CO2 worth more than 4,000 trees every year. Sunshore Energy is the complete solutions partner on your solar power journey. We help you from conceptualizing your solar investment to commissioning of the assets and its operations over its complete lifetime, all from under one roof. We are a team of IIT alumnus driven to propel India into a solar-powered, energy-sufficient future. We are right now the largest rooftop solar company in India, aiming to create a portfolio of 1,000 megawatts of solar power assets by 2022, with running projects in over 15 states. Corporations can transition to solar power through rooftop solar, while larger power needs can be fulfilled from open access solar plants. These plants are set up far from the premises, and the power is delivered directly to the facility. With the combination of rooftop solar and open access, large corporations can shift up to 90% of their energy to solar and bring down power costs by 40%. We will assist you in navigating the complete financial landscape of the project and also guarantee best-in-class energy generation from solar plants we create for you. Our expertise in site surveys, assessment and compliance with the highest international standards for our designs ensures complete satisfaction. A dedicated project manager ensures that the project is planned and executed with world-class quality and safety standards. Timely delivery of the project is monitored closely with the aid of daily progress reports till the project is handed over to you. Post-commissioning, the asset management team provides performance assurance to your plant. This is achieved with our timely maintenance schedules and advanced analytics practice on real-time data from the plant. You will receive business-grade reports on a daily basis, and all major system events will be brought to your notice. Sit back, relax, and watch the sunshine turn into gold for your business.
Thank you, team. Here I would like to make a small announcement. Attendees can post their question in the Q&A box and our speakers will answer those questions at the end of the panel session. As we know, with a 10% share of the world's carbon emissions, the textile industry is one of the biggest producers of greenhouse gases. The textile industry's transition to a net zero energy future is facilitated by the comprehensive strategy known as the Net Zero Energy Roadmap-Textile. The Net Zero Energy Roadmap outlines a series of strategies and actions that textile companies can take to reduce their energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. This includes improving energy efficiency, adopting renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power, and implementing circular economy principles to reduce waste and extend the life of textile products. To achieve the goal of net zero energy, the Net Zero Energy Initiative aims the implementation of energy management systems, the use of sustainable materials, and the adoption of innovative technologies such as smart textile and 3D printing. Allow me to introduce the elite panel for today. Ms. Chandrima from Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, Mr. Subhashish from LNJ Denim, Mr. Siyog Ladha from Open Access Tata Power, Mr. R.K. Veej, who is the president from Textile Association of India and who is going to be our moderator for today's insightful session. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a very good panelist. First, Mrs. Chandrima Chatterjee, Secretary General, Confederation of Indian Industry. Ms. Chandrima Chatterjee is the Secretary General of Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, City, very well known in the industry. Chandrima ji bring with her 24 years of experience of research, policy, advocacy, and trade facilitation. Besides working on the trade facilitation and competitiveness issue for the textile value chain, she has been associated with skilling, sustainability, and responsible business initiatives, recognizing the growing role of these as competitiveness of the tools. I know Chandrimaji, we are meeting in all during the association meetings. She is a very committed lady, so we welcome her during our panel discussions. Next is Mr. Subhash Basu, Senior General Manager, LNG Denim. Mr. Subhashish Basu is 40 years old, MTech, textile engineering from IIT Delhi, and about 20 years experience in reputed companies like Arihant Spinning Mills Limited and Maftalal Denim. His last organization was Nova Denim Private Limited, unit of Nandan Exim, where he was general manager. He may be knowing me or not, but I know him from when he was working with Arihant Cotspin,
Yes,
uh,
sir. I know.
Sangrur.
Yeah, Malapurla.
So, yeah. And now we have Yogesh Natuji, Sustainability, ESG, Climate Change, Century Textile and Industry Limited, experienced chemical engineer with a demonstrated history of working in the management consulting and corporate role, skilled in sustainability, energy management, climate change, and environment management system. He is also a very experienced person. And last, Mr. Laddaji is there, lead business development, open access, Tata Power. Um, in From last 5 years, we are also putting solar energy, solar power projects in our ashrams. We are having about 60 to 70 ashram all over India. So, but our plants are not very big. These are 50, 60, 70 kilowatt plants are there. So we have a very good experience. This is the first time now in the last 3 months only we have installed a uh, very good system. It is a total automatic system is there. So solar
Yes,
very much becoming
yes, I
popular.
can see it.
So before I hand over to the some of the
Have to
speakers,
switch
I
off.
just wanted to tell about the textile industry. Textile industry plays significant role in the global manufacturing, but it has
Okay,
a considerable environmental impact. To save environmental changes and to promote sustainability, net zero emissions is gaining much. Net zero energy means balancing the total amount of energy used with equal amount of renewable energy generated. So all the strategies are technology, initiatives. Current textile industry is energy intensive and highly rely on the fossil fuels. What are the fossil fuels? Coal, natural gas, crude oil, petroleum products. These fossil fuels, particularly in manufacturing units like spinning, weaving, dyeing, and finishing. We should have a strategy. We should have efficient motors, automatic systems, energy management softwares, optimize energy conservations in the different processes. So these are all measures we have to take it. And I was just attending the today epic meeting, Asia Petrochemical, where it was all ministers were there, and it was pointed out that in petrochemical 80% of the fuel is coming out and only 20% chemical is coming out. So now by 2030 they are thinking, so how to take out 80% of chemical and 20% of the fuel. This is the Indorama India, where I am working as an advisor. Today has said we are having 140 units all over the world. So we have, or management has decided by 2020, we have to make all coal boilers at zero. Means we will be working on sustainability, on net zero energy system. Reliance also today declared that by 2030. So this is a very good topic they selected, and now I'll ask my first speaker, Chandrima ji, to tell something about on the textile, because she is a very experienced lady in the textile.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you, Vijay, and thanks to all the panelists. I think it is for me, it's more of a learning experience because we have been hearing these terminologies for the last 1 or 2 years only. But the reason I thought I should be in this platform is because we see a big role of business support organizations like the Confederation of Indian Textile Industry, where I am, to now understand and pass on the relevant awareness and capacity building requirements to the industry on one hand, and the kind of policy support that we see the government has to give now to meet these requirements on the other hand. So for these, I'm happy to share that city has in fact initiated some activities to understand what should be the roadmap, and then of course then pass through the ESG series that we have done, and through that try to have some facilitation interventions planned on that. So let me try to share some of them with the esteemed panel and others here. Maybe I would also love to take some feedback on what we have understood, if there's more to be done on that. And after that, I would like to share what will be the challenges on these. So, based on where the industry today is, we felt that the six priority areas for making a good roadmap for textile sector sustainability, especially in the area of net zero, would be first materials and traceability. So first, I think the industry will have to understand, identify, and transform to low impact and certified raw materials. This, of course, would mean investing in de-risking and at times scaling innovative material and material which enable circularity, and thus have a shift in their sourcing strategies also besides the production strategy. Towards climate change, of course, the biggest thing is now to have a proper quantification, tracking, and public reporting of the GHG emissions. At the moment, I think most of it is voluntary, but we can see the writing on the wall. Some of them will be mandatory soon. So, if you're looking at a roadmap, of course, it should encompass the reporting requirements for scope 1, 2, and 3, all of them, and in that decide in which order to reduce the carbon emissions. So I think all the industries as a roadmap will have to have a plan for prioritizing and reduction, and in that all the stakeholders will be important. So there will be a need to establish KRAs for both the suppliers, the employee, and also the value chain. And of course there is a great call for transparency, and so there has to be systems to ensure transparency of both the process, documentation, and implementation. The third area we feel is chemicals, which is a priority area for textiles. So, of course, besides eliminating the hazardous chemical, which is a path the industry has been for quite some time, the REACH regulations and some of the other similar regulations have already made the industry pretty aware of the kind of chemical they should get into. But also, an important area would be standard certified wet processing facilities. So I think in both material and processes, we have to look at how what our choices are, evaluate products with against harmful chemicals, and develop policies for improvement also. So of course the we have very rightly identified these as a roadmap. So there's a roadmap here that we are looking at. It should be, most of this should be a based and roadmap that we are developing. And in the case of chemicals, we also need to look at remediating manufacturing processes through input chemical management, greener and sustainable chemistry, and water management. The next area would be sustainability measurement. So we are looking at assessing materiality and developing a sustainability strategy, governance, goals, and measurement. Net zero is, of course, a very important part of it, but it has to be a holistic plan. So we are emphasizing more on the sustainability, overall sustainability requirements, which automatically will ensure a better roadmap towards net zero. Besides this, everybody has to participate in the process that this calls for, which is innovation and circularity, where we would require to quantify waste generated in the value chain, create a technology stack for tracking waste and circularity, and also new business models and innovative approaches towards circularity. In fact, we all know the definition of circularity also is changing. First, we many of us were very happy that we have a big industry where PET is being converted into fiber and the value chain. But today, as per the EU regulations, that is gradually going out of the circularity definition, as also in the definition of evaluating the carbon. So we understand many of these will not add on to the carbon credits that the organizations today are assessing in their things, and of course largely engaging with the consumers so that they can drive transparency of the sustainability efforts. In this whole thing, one very important area is demonstrating your intent and your roadmap in that. So, if you look at these, the biggest challenge, I think, as for organizations like us and the Indian textile value chain, is that the bulk of the manufacturing, both in textiles and if I look at garments together as the whole value chain, is that the bulk is in the MSMEs. So if you look at some of these areas and the work that is needed, I think the biggest challenge for India as one of the largest manufacturing destination would be how to give the awareness of the required roadmap to the 80% MSMEs that are there in the sector here, and also have a good capacity building and policy support for them. So I think I'll stop here for now and would like to hear others, but there is a lot more in terms of challenges and knowing how to do, which Vijay, we may take up after this. Thank you.
Chandrimaji, just only one point that you have very well said that for small scale sector, for SMEs, this is very much required. I appreciate your this point, because when I was putting 5 years before one small plant of 50 kilowatt in my village, so I was facing lot of troubles. So what are the facilities one small scale people should get? What do you feel? Because being a practical, I can tell, but I want to listen from you what you want for the Tata Power, yeah, any other manufacturers to help for the SMSEs.
Yes, see, one is the hard stuff, which is the technology or the infrastructure. The other part is the soft skills, also the knowledge. So in both, I think so. For the infrastructure bit, I think we have now understood that many of these cannot be done at individual level. So now we are looking at a cluster approach. A few of the clusters have done that. That you are having common facilities both for having for a transformation into non-fossil fuel ratios in their production, for waste management, for water management. So for MSMEs, that can be that. And I think the ministry also has been working on that. So if you look at all the state policies, now there is a sure reference of that, to have common facilities on that, so that the economies work. Because I think another big challenge for the MSMEs is that the percentage cost of these, of the overall production cost for them, will always be higher than a large scale unit, and to that extent it will be a constraint for them. So I think one big way is that the presence of organizations like Tata Power and all, as also their technical capabilities, we should plug in when we are at least looking at new facilities. Because today, where the industry is, a lot of new facilities and expansion is going to come. So
Yeah.
there, I think there's a huge scope of organizations like this to support the MSMEs.
No, thank you, ma'am. Now, our next speaker, I will Mr. Basu, Senior General Manager, LNJ Denim, because denim is very popular nowadays. So I will take last speaker, Mr. Tata from the Tata Power, because we have lot of questions to ask him, because they are the major supplier. So I'll request Mr. Basu to say few things and words, their experience on the this zero net energy.
Yeah, thanks for Bishop for your wonderful introduction. Glad to meet in afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody. As far as LNJ Denim is concerned, we are the denim manufacturing unit. We are the part of RSWM units. We have the total 11 units are there, and we are majority into yarn business and Milan business. But I represent the LNJ Denim. And on the sustainable parts, on net zero, we have put a benchmark of 2018. Actually, we have started working from 2019 because we are doing a lot of business with the brands, all the European and American brands, and they have a very strict roadmap. And based on their roadmaps, we have also made the roadmaps going ahead by 2023 and 2025 and 2030. Actually, as far as the energy is concerned, we are total as we have 22.5 megawatt of solar power we have. So as of today, we are using around 10% as a LNG denim is concerned, and we are outsourcing around 20 megawatt of wind powers. So basically, all the units will be consuming those actually. And for the technological upgradation, there are a lot of energy efficient technologies are coming up. So for the last 3 years, we have put around 3.6 crore rupees on the technology upgradation as far as energy efficiency is concerned. Like we have done a lot of modification system in the humidification system, supplier and return fans. We have replaced with aerodynamic fans. We have put the variable speed drives. We have just this year we have installed a energy efficient compressors, efficient compact compressors instead of screw compressors. So that saves a lot of energy. Again, in the water part, if you talk about, the madam was telling about the sustainable denims, the chemicals. Nowadays, when we started the using the chemicals which are approved by the JDSC and MRSL and RSL, we're at around 46% 3 years back. Now we have reached up to the 96% out of total chemicals we are using that are fully compliance by the RSL, MRSL, and approved on the register on the JDSC. So whatever the chemicals we take input our factory, that has to be first registered with the JDSC. And for that we have the a lot of certification systems, so like GOTS or GRS and RCS. So those are in the public domain. So like what she was telling, that there has to be some reporting system. So actually what chemical you are using and what actually you are not using, that cannot be any gap between this. So there should not be any gap between the reporting system. So every year we have verification system by the third party. As we are doing the business with the brands, we have registered with the Hague portals actually. So there, every year we are doing all the datas like water management, like energy management, chemical management, and all your chemicals. We are putting on the data on the websites and the portals, and every year there is a third party verification. So it is not that whatever data we put on the portal, so that has to be verified first actually. So there is some authenticity of those data actually. As far as the water is concerned, we have JLD factory, zero liquid discharge ATP systems, and we have third stage RO and ME system is there, and around 94% of water we are recycling inside our factory actually, and we are also coming up with fourth stage RO also, so that will increase our water recycling capacity by 96% actually. So by this we can, on the water footprint also we are doing a lot of things, and in the process also we have done lot of modification system, like we are recovering the heat from the stanter, heat recovery systems, heat exchanger system we have put on the stanter. So by here whatever the gases or whatever the heat we are emitting, we are reconverting into and reusing on the machine itself. And on the sustainable denim parts, what madam was saying, because work on three R words: reduce, recycle, and reuse. So for that we have put our garnetting system, our recycling unit we have put. So there we are using post-consumer wood, PCW waste and pre-industrial waste, that we are putting into the garnetting unit, and we are making the fibers out of those. And those fibers we are making into the fabrics. Around our, if you see our product basket, around 20 to 25% products are having the sustainable denims. They made of the sustainable fibers, and our total volume wise, business wise, is 10 to 12%. So that is from sustainable we are doing recycle, reuse, and whether it is water, whether it is heat energy, whether it is materials actually. And all these things, everything on the sustainable, we are also coming up with the sustainable reports also. They are in the public domain, everybody can see, and every can, those are the verified data. So these are the things which, as a denim, more our responsible denim manufacturing, we are doing.
Thank you, ma'am. You have said very good thing that one should always share the best practices a one company is adopting, because some of the corporate people, they are having the R&D, they are having the facilities. So suppose if they will share their good things to the others industry, they will also gain it from their experience without spending much amount on that. So I just wanted to ask one thing, whether you are using rooftop solar power energy, and if you are using, then how it is working as compared to the solar panel fixed on a ground.
Sir, actually, we have solar power unit is there, but as a RSW, we are the group units, so we are getting the solar power from our grid actually. We are generating on the not solar, not rooftop. It is a solar unit is there, so the panels, and from there it is going to grid, and from the grid we are getting the distribution. So it is not the rooftop, it is a solar panel. It's a just one 3 units, 3.5 megawatt of units are there.
Because just in Jammu we are putting a plant there from bottle to bottle, where
Yeah.
this hall is there, and we are putting all solar panels on the rooftop. So this is saving the area, and of course, we feel that it will be a successful. When Mr. Ladda will tell us, then
Yeah.
he will tell us how will be your experience to keep the solar panel on the hall upside, and what should be there. So thank you
Yeah.
very much. Now our
Yeah.
next speaker is Mr. Yogesh Natuji, who will speak on sustainability, and let's listen from him. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vij. Good afternoon, everyone. I represent Century Textile and Industries, which which one vertical is into textile, the other two verticals are in pulp and paper and real estate. So, whatever has been spoken by my predecessor speakers, like circularity, traceability, we have all those things from uh, quite a long time. I would specifically speak about the initiatives which we have taken. Like there are two parts. One is if we talk about net zero, my that's my personal opinion. Net zero we will never be able to achieve just by shifting to renewable energy source, because that's the electricity which we are using, but we will always be using and how to take care of scope 3 emissions, because scope 3 emissions will never get uh, reduced or nullified by shifting to renewable or non-fossil fuel based power generation or heat generation. So there we will have to have take care of nature based solutions. So that's where we are working. We are taking care of our other emissions by doing plantations, which is something very unique way, because we are generating and we are doing this plantation specifically for carbon sequestration around our manufacturing sites, as well as at some of the our own uh, field where we have our own land where we are developing a specific species of plants so that the carbon sequestration can take place. Now, coming to the energy efficiency or water related initiatives which we have taken, we have switched to almost 50% of our power to renewable energy. And there is a challenge which we are facing because of the policy issues is uh, we are not allowed to take, even though we want to take more power from renewable energy via grid, but there is a policy hindrance that if we don't have captive power plant, we can't take more than 50% of the power, renewable power from the grid. So that's where we would require the policy change should happen. The other thing is coming to energy efficiency, and energy efficiency not only in the energy field, but it is also related to water and waste. So we have developed few of the textile products which are from the waste. One is from the and both are from the agriculture waste, and we have also developed few products where we are talking that if the apparel industry is using our product, how much specific water consumption they will use in the reduce, or energy consumption they will reduce in the entire life cycle of the apparel. So these are some of the things which will help not only in reducing the carbon emissions or energy intensity in my operations, but it will also help in the complete life cycle of the textile industry.
Okay. Thank you very much. Just I wanted to ask, are you how much total power you are consuming, and what are your sources of powers? You are using coal or coal-based power also, or just only grid power and diesel power and other power, solar power?
It's entirely is grid power. We don't have our own power plant, power plant, we use coal, but that's for steam generation. So that also we have shifted now to agri-based steam generation. And the grid power which we are drawing, out of which somewhere around approximately 6.5 megawatt is renewable energy, both solar and wind.
What is the difference, the cost of power? Suppose, what is the per unit power if you are getting from the grid, and what are the per unit power you are getting from renewable energy?
Both are from and both is from the grid only. It's
Okay.
only so we are it's the grid based power. Only thing we have PPAs, one with the state electricity board and one with the renewable energy power supplier.
So as on today, you don't have your own solar plant or any other from where you can get a cheaper power.
We have our own. So Century is part of Aditya Birla Group. So Aditya Birla Group has around 650 megawatt renewable, both solar and some wind. So we can
Okay,
get
okay.
that, but we are not into that. We are taking, and we do all these transactions, even though it's a part of the Aditya Birla Group, but at the arm's length.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Now, thanks a lot. Now our main speaker will come. I'll ask Mr. Ladda to speak. We have seen their things are. I just wanted to ask one or two questions for SMSs for 30 mega kilowatt or 50 kilowatt. Whether your company is supplying the full key project to them also, and how much the power difference is there. Suppose the cost of the power is there. And third thing I just wanted to ask, suppose if in one place we have put a power unit of about 40 kilowatt, but we don't have battery backup. So whether when the grid power goes off, whether this solar panel will work or not, or we should have always battery backup always there, or but batteries are very costly there. So okay, now hand over to you. There will be a lot of question to ask from you. Thank you very much.
First of all, I would like to thank Vitsa, the First View Group Limited, the panelists, and all the people listening to this webinar for giving us an opportunity to give our inputs and to give our contribution for achieving the net zero emission target for the textile industries. So, like everyone has mentioned, that net zero can only not be achieved only by using the green power or by using the renewable power, but there are various other parameters which should be taken under care of for getting the net zero targets. So right now, like textile industry is one of the largest contribution to the greenhouse gas in the world right now, because of the huge energy consumption, and majority energy is coming from the coal or from the grid. The next was the water and chemical use. Like textile production involves the use of chemicals and water intensive processes. So such water and chemical should be properly managed for achieving the eco. It should be properly managed so that it can give us the good output and achieve our net zero targets. The next was the lack of transparency. Like because of the textile industries, there is not much transparency about the emission which we can track compared to any other sectors. So those should be taken care of. And another was the supply chain complexity. Like we know there is a lot of supply chain complexity in the textile industries, so that should be properly tracked to give us the best output in that. So how we what are the major inputs which can be given under the textile industries? So first is the energy efficient machineries. Like lot of new technologies are coming up which are more efficient machineries which can be used, and some of the automated machineries which can use the less power but give us the good efficiencies. Then the process optimizations, like implementing the process optimized process can improve the efficiencies and reduce the emissions in the output. the water management, the waste management system can be properly managed. And as soon as we make the process automizations or use the more efficient machines, the energy consumption will be there, and those energy consumption can be fulfilled from the renewable power. So at last we can save all our CO2 emissions, and we can move forward towards achieving the net zero carbon emissions. So some of the, like, we know that many of the states having the various policies for promoting the renewable power. Like we see currently one of the favorable states under the renewable power which we can see is under Maharashtra, then Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and upcoming states which are having their good policies coming up is around Gujarat, then it's UP, Madhya Pradesh. So a lot of states are coming up with their good policies, but we are also in talk with various state governments for implementing a special certain policies for the textile industries, which can help the textile industries to promote and to go for the sustainable and net zero targets. So some of the policies which we are in talk with the government and asking government to implement are the carbon pricing and incentives. That there should be the carbon tax should be there, and there should be incentives to be given to the companies which are using the green power, uh, or which are promoting their net zero targets, so that this will incentivize or promote the various companies to achieve this. Then there are sustainable sourcing requirements which government can again come up with the policies with various textile industries who can bring the sustainable products in the market, which can be more economically, or which are more favorable to the environments. Also we are in the talk with the government to have the certain incentives or certain benefit should be given to the industries which are adopting for the green power, either on the rooftops or either on the group captive. So in other sectors we see, like in the steel sector, a lot of industries and lot of countries are now applying for the carbon border tax. So this will be coming in the upcoming time, but as soon as the policies comes in implementation, this will go much faster in the pace. So right now we are already supplying power, and we are in have an agreement with various textile companies across India. But some of the challenges we see among the small and medium scale textile manufacturing are, first of all, lack of awareness and expertise. So lot of MSMEs are having the less expertise to get the sustainable solutions, to get the proper directions for getting the renewable powers and how to get to the net zero solutions. So as a Tata Power, we have our presence across pan India. We have more than 500 our channel partners across India who are always there to help and to give the best solutions for achieving the net zero and renewable power for all our clients across India. Then how this can be made it simplified, and as soon as we get the requirement from the clients, we can give them the best solution, either it's a rooftop, either it's a ground mount, or either it's off grid solutions. So in the starting, my colleague Arun has already mentioned कि we offer various offerings in the in the renewables. Like we have our carport, we offer off-site solutions, we offer on-site solutions. So we are coming up with various open access projects across various states in India, which can give the power to the big industries. Uh, so that our main goal as a Tata Power Renewable is main goal is to give the sustainable growth for our Indian and each and every sector in that. So we would always love to give our contribution and our best of our efforts for achieving the net zero and sustainable solution for the textile industries.
Thank you very much. How we can calculate the net zero? Can you suggest net zero? How we can calculate?
Right, sir. So net zero, it's not, as I mentioned already, ki net zero can't only be calculated based on renewable power, but renewable power is one of the major impact which can give in the net zero. First of all, as much as possible, as per the state policies, we can able to convert all the fossil fuel power to the renewable power, and other parameters are like water and chemical uses, the waste management, then how we are using the technologies adoption, how the learnings is going on in the industries. All these parameters will help us to give the net zero emission.
Thank you very much. So thanks all my speakers, Chandramanji, Basuji, Yogeshji, and Laddaji. Now, if any questions, any speaker question can ask, or it is open for the house. So that is there. So I'll request Sakshi ji, our other organizer, to take this now charge from me, Arkevich.
I have just a small question from Suyogji. You were
Yes, ma'am.
talking about policy support. So there presently is no policy support for use of sustainable power, means non-fossil power. Tamil Nadu, a few states have, I understand.
Yeah, ma'am. So, like I mentioned, ki there are few states which have the very aggressive and advanced policy supports. Like Maharashtra is there, Karnataka is there, Tamil Nadu is there, and other states are upcoming states which are having their good policies are coming up for promoting the green power. So, in our upcoming states, as I mentioned, it was Gujarat, then Rajasthan, then UP, and small states like Goa are also coming up with the new policies which can promote the renewable power for each and every sectors. But we are in talk with the central government as well, so that like from the central government, if we get some policy framework or the incentives for the industries in the textile segment, which can give them the benefit and which can give them more uh, inclination towards taking the green power as they are getting incentives, so that will gonna help each and every small industries, and our targets of getting net zero will be achieved soon.
How much incentives uh, government gives?
So right now there is no such specific incentives given to the textile industries, but that depends again on state to state basis. The central government right now don't have any incentive given to the any of the sector, but they have policies, certain policies which should be achieved for certain of sectors to to go to buy to produce their products. So we are in talk ki certain incentives should be given for the industries, either not in the open access or group captive, but on the rooftop, so that this industries can the people who can apply the rooftop should have this. Generally, the rooftop incentives can help small MSMEs to adopt the solar solutions and get their consumption, maximum consumption through the renewable sources.
So in the rooftop maintenance, you can maintain the solar panel, or because how to clean those solar panel and how to repair, and these are the things.
Right, sir. So we have our O&M team. So in rooftop also we have two models, which is the capex, in which customer will invest 100% and we will apply the roof, will apply the solar panels at their roof, and our O&M team will always be there having a different contract for cleaning the solar panels and maintaining the proper generations. And other models we have an OPEX model where customer don't have to invest anything. Tata Power will invest everything on their roof, will apply the solar modules on their roof, and the power will be supplied to the customer. And O&M and generation will be taken care by our O&M team.
Okay. Any other questions? I have a question for Syog sir. Could you tell us your view on ISTS, and will ISTS be helpful for the textile industry?
Yeah, so rightly mentioned, ISTS is generally used for the big industries. So currently, as government has mandated for some of the steel industries to like some of the European countries has applied the carbon border tax for all the imports coming to the Europe should take have a green power. So big steel industries are now wanting the power through ISTS. So we are already having the agreements and going forward with lot of steel industries power supplying the power through ISTS. and the same should be applied for the textile industries as well. As we see, some of the textile industries is having the demand of more than 100 megawatt, 200 megawatt at various locations. So those will be supplied. And as a Tata Power, we have already having the connectivity and our plants more than 2 gigawatt plus connected at ISTS, and our upcoming plants which are in the progress of around 1 gigawatt plus, which are connected to ISTS. And we have already tied up with various industries on ISTS. As soon as the textile industries we get the requirement, we would love to supply from ISTS. And from ISTS, the benefit is that in whichever state they require the power, we can supply from any other state where we can give a higher generation and a less tariff.
Or one of the member of association is coming up with the spinning unit in MP. So you can contact us. We'll give your contact number to them.
Sure.
They will be installing about 65,000 of ring spindle. So they will be using rooftop power. Any other questions, sir? So now I think already the time is over. Acha, another question. How could we utilize power generated from solar panels without connecting them to the grid and battery?
Yeah, so the solar which are connected generally on the roof or on in the premises of the factories can be connected to the behind the meter policy. So in which the power will not go to the grid and we don't have to use a battery. It will be directly used as in the behind the meter policy, that directly utilized based on your consumption. As there are advantages that you don't have to pay any amount to the government or to the grid, but there are some disadvantages of that also. Okay, if there is sometimes shutdown in the factory, so that power can't be utilized and the power will be going to waste on that day. So based on the consumption pattern of the industries, we suggest either to go for the behind the meter, or either should go for the net metering, or either should go for the gross metering.
One question I just wanted to ask. Suppose we have the grid power, we have the
Yeah.
solar power, but we don't have the battery backup. So
Yeah.
at that time, when the grid will go away, how the solar will work?
So sir, in that case, na, we suggest the net metering policy. As you may also aware ki whatever the generation you will make from your solar rooftop, that will be directly supplied to the grid, and those amount which you are generating from the roof will be subtracted from your bill from the grid.
No, no,
So
that
in
is
that,
okay. But suppose the grid power goes and it is the daytime, and then whether that at that time solar will work and give you a power to your
so sir,
house
if
and
it's
to your factory.
yeah, so sir, if it's connected behind the meter, then definitely it will gonna work. But if it's connected to the grid, then the power will go to the grid, and in that case, either we have to have go for the behind the meter, or we have to
Okay.
apply the battery in that.
Thank you very much. Any other question, or should we close now?
Uh, Sir, we don't have any other question now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to our esteemed speaker for this wonderful session. So, with this, we have come to the end of this virtual event, and a very special thank to Mr. Veej for superbly managing the session. A big shout out to our attendees for extending your time and support for the event, and a special thank to our partner Tata Power and Sunshore for extending your immense support to organize this event. We promise you to come back tomorrow with another exciting session. The floor is now open for networking. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks to all
Thank
my
you, everyone.
speakers.
Thank
Thank
you,
Thank you.
you.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.